Good morning, Phil Davis. It's morning here, but where you are, it may not be morning. It may not be morning when you're watching this video, but who cares? The message still needs to be sent out. You still need to receive the message. Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands, ancestrylands.com. Let's get right to it. Here we go. So, a lot of people are waiting for tomorrow to come instead of getting it in today. A lot of people are waiting for life to come instead of starting their life today. What do I mean? I've dealt with a patient who has a very bad diagnosis despite being so young. I'm gonna put it this way in context. And you guys know I'm a nurse. The patient said to me last night, my parents will outlive me. And this is a person who's a little bit older than myself. I'm not gonna give away any HIPAA stuff, never violated. But it hurts me because this is a person who you would think at her point in life or his point in life, they have much more life to live. They now have to face the reality that life may be over and they are watching something come to an end. I have patients that have anxiety that are leaders of their family. And what I see are people, like I've talked about in videos before, they're waiting for the perfect job to come. They're waiting for the perfect time to get married. They're waiting for a person to come into their lives for God to deliver something to them that they will not even try to seek for themselves. They're waiting for the perfect man, the perfect husband, but they're passing by qualified people now. And they're looking at people who are not qualified and investing in them. I had to tell a guy that it wasn't even just a person. If just like you've gone through relationships to get to your marriage, you need to be that dedicated with your own life. I sat with this person for 40 minutes sharing pain. The pain that I experienced, and I had to let them know, you are not alone. You're not alone. But you got people out there who don't have these issues, that don't have to see it. I just drove past the cemetery. And you know what I've learned? I tell my kids all the time, we drive past cemeteries. In that cemetery are tons of people who waited for tomorrow to come and it never came. There are tons of people who thought they had another day, another hour, another moment, another second. They had another opportunity to waste. They thought that God would send them something that was not in God's plan. For the religious people out there, the people waiting for God to send you something when you don't even show God that you're working towards obtaining something. Why should somebody, or why should a divine force send you something you yourself am not willing to work to obtain? Finding a good husband or a good wife is, when you get that person, you've got to maintain that relationship. When you get a good life, you have to maintain that good life. There is no you get it and you're in everlasting bliss. I'm going to say this now. I'm sure heaven requires maintenance in order to make it heavenly. That's bars. Those are gems. I say this because I had a conversation with a gentleman, and if he watches this video, let me just tell you, you touched my heart. You did. It meant something. This video is dedicated to you. And I told him the same thing. There are people out there that are a foundation, a rock to people around them. Sorry, I'm gonna get try not to get emotional on this, I'm supposed to be, I am a rock and a foundation to my wife and children. That's one reason why I have life insurance. You're young, you're 20-something years old watching this video thinking that life will never come for you. You need to prepare for life because life will come for you. You need to have things in place for the life that you hope to obtain. You don't need to do it once you start getting kids. You don't need to do it once you get married. You need to prepare before you get there. You don't start prepping for, if you played sports, you don't start prepping for the championship game Coaches don't start preparing for the Super Bowl when they get to they prepare in the preseason. Athletes are training to get to the Super Bowl in the season before the games start occurring. You start practicing and preparing yourself for the teams that you're going to play before you play them. That's why they have a thing called game film. But when we get to life, all of a sudden we give that preparation away. We're in environments where we're told, hell, you go to school to prepare yourself for life. And all of a sudden we get out here, we get a degree, we get a job, and we feel that there is no more preparation for us that we need to do further because we're now in the monotony of the adult world, the environment, the capitalistic environment, whatever you want to call it. But again, instead of making excuses, why don't you make preparations? I ask people all the time, what is your plan? What have you invested in yourself in the time you spent working on you? And most people don't work on them. Most people in life do not work on themselves. When I say work on yourselves, I'm talking about sitting down and spending time with you to deal with the issues that are you. Whether it's getting out of debt, whether it's learning something new. Hell, I got nurses that I work with that don't even understand or can't even spell terms and damn sure won't even look them up. They spent time goofing off in class, not paying attention, looking good because they look good, but that doesn't do anything when you're standing in front of me and I'm looking at you asking, do you have the information? Your looks don't serve me when I'm having a heart attack. I need to know, do you have the knowledge? Yes, you can go to ChatGPT and get all the answers you want, but in real life, you have to understand how to get through situations that ChatGPT can't help you with. ChatGPT can only help you out with what it thinks it should tell you with what's going on with you, but it still doesn't know what decisions you're going to make afterwards. Because again, you can deviate away from even what it says because you don't always have to follow what it tells you to. Do you have the knowledge, the ability to actually understand and work on problems because you take time and spend time working on your life? But again, if you don't spend the time doing it, why the hell should I invest in it? I've said that before. I had to talk to a patient, sat down and sat with them. And I told him, I said, you are a foundation to everyone else in your family. But sometimes even Superman needs someone to talk to. And where does Superman go? If anybody watches comic books, the Man of Steel, Superman, goes to Batman to confide in him. Because even though he's invulnerable outside, he is still vulnerable inside. Most men are vulnerable inside. Everyone knows a woman can be vulnerable. Hell, we make room for women to be vulnerable. And it's not about women, it's not about shooting people down. But he is not allowed to be vulnerable, but only to a certain degree. That's what's coming for you when you want to have a family. Having a family is not about you just having kids, getting married. That's all the glamour shit, man. You know what marriage is? Right now, I'm driving home after being tired from work. I've got to take my kids 30 minutes over to go do violin practice because the youngest is sick right now. My wife texts me at 1 a.m. in the morning. My youngest, the baby, wakes up grabbing his ear, which we know is a sign that he might have a budding ear infection. Now, I've got to be tired. I've got to go take them 30 minutes and drive back. And then my wife's got to pick him up while trying to figure out what's going on with the youngest child. That's not sexy. There's no, we got to divide and conquer. And that means bills, work, a whole bunch of shit could be going on, but we still got to get it done. That's why I said the other day, you still have a job to do. And none of that job stuff looks sexy. It's not beautiful. There ain't no honeymoon at that point. You're in the thick of it, you're in the grind of it, and the work needs to be done. It's the ugly parts at life that make a marriage successful. It's the stuff you don't want to do, the time where you need to work together. But you know what? We didn't start that now after 12 years of being together. We didn't start that in year one. We didn't get to this point because this is our first bad time dealing with it. This is something that we've been doing. We've been through dark days. We've been through almost getting a divorce. We've been through almost breaking up. We've been through, I don't want to be with you anymore. And we still decided to stick it through. We've been through where we both wanted to quit on each other, but we understood that the mission still is on. We still are here for our children. And again, what you do find is something beyond that. When you get past the initial, I'm going to just respond to my emotions right now, we went back to working on us. And you find a pathway back to each other. You do. Any person, you all look at those older relationships, say, oh, people were married longer back in the day. Yeah, they had the same problems we have now. They just had a different version of those problems. But the one thing that did not change was the fact that it takes two to make a thing go right. It takes two people to want it. It takes two people to not want to give up on their damn family. It takes two people not to want to give up on each other. It takes the same person, two people. It takes still individual effort to put that in and say, hey, I give a damn. I want to work this out. You got to do the same thing with yourself. And what you got are people who don't do that with themselves, and they don't do that in their relationships. They don't do that when it comes to their children. They don't do it when it comes to their job, their career, their debt. They don't spend any time working on themselves. So you see failure everywhere you look. Now, the one thing you could do, I always said one of the best things I ever heard of it. The best thing I could do for a person that's broke is not be one of you. The best thing I could do for criminals is not be one of them. The best thing I could do about the government debt is not be in debt. That's the best thing I could do. The best thing I could do about people who create problems is not be one of them. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, again, people outside in this world are going through things, and I had to tell the gentleman too the same thing. You looking at me like I've never had problems. Y'all seen me walk up and down this street in crutches in videos before when I've had ankle surgeries on my left ankle, and then when I had my Achilles torn. I've sat there when my Achilles was torn in 2023, going into 2024, when I was only using Ancestry Lands income to support myself and my family. And even then, I had people trying to make my life harder. So don't look at me and say, well, I've got a YouTube channel, I've got 100-some thousand subscribers, like I'm a person not going through it. I'm at my place and I have children. I fear and I'm concerned and I worry about everything that they have going on in life here, now, and the time I'm gone. Yeah, it worries me to death. That's what a father is going to be. A person that worries, but do they know it? No, because dad smiles when he comes home. That's what dad does. Dad makes sure that everything is okay. It's like the same thing in the superhero movies, right? When the strongest one comes, everybody feels better. The cavalry has arrived. But again, where does Superman go to? But Superman can't go and beat Batman up and then think that Batman's going to be there for him. But you got a lot of people out there, they don't have a Batman to go to. And I told the person this thing about it. The reason why Superman goes to Batman is because Batman's hurt and pain is deeper than Superman's. Batman lost his parents as a child. Superman lost his parents later on as he's an adult. He lived a life differently. So he feels that Batman can understand his pain and relate. But the thing about Batman most people don't understand is Batman is broken, completely broken. He's 2 steps away from being a monster, one bad day from being a monster, and he's got to hold himself back at every turn. He fights to stay good, not be bad. He fights to stay good. Every day he lives with restraint. But that's who Superman goes to try to get an understanding for when he feels vulnerable. And sometimes you need another person who's got pain themselves. Because that's what I did with the person. We exchanged pain, the suffering we've been through, the anxiety that we have as fathers, so he could relate. You can't relate to somebody. I can't relate to my wife. Your wife you can confide in your wife, but only to a degree. She cannot relate on fatherhood levels. When we talk about what we care about with our children, our role, how we look in our children's eyes, a woman can't understand that when she's not a man. And that's no slight to that. I can't tell my wife what it's like going through a menstrual cycle. I don't know. I know medically the textbook version, but I can't tell her what she should and should feel. And I wouldn't know the first damn way of how she does feel when she goes through it. Not one bit. And when you sit down and you talk with people, when you sit down and have enough attention span to watch a video like this, when you can see and listen to this, you learn things about people and you make a connection. That's the problem. We don't spend enough time sitting down and focusing like I'm doing here. I sat there 40 minutes with this guy to talk, just to sit there. And you know what he found out? He said he didn't need the medication. What he needed was someone to listen, to share, to exchange, to feel that we both have been something. And the one thing he needs to know is he is not alone. You are not alone. But you are not alone in the fact that you need to make sure that you do not keep waiting for tomorrow to come for your today. You need to think about doing stuff today to get to your tomorrow. You need to look at tomorrow and say, I've got to start building towards that today. You can't be 25 and wait on the perfect woman to come. What you've got to do is build yourself up to be able to attract the perfect woman, to offer her something. You can't just say, well, we're going to start when you get here. You got to come there and say, I've already been working on me. And not a lot of men are doing that. They're just waiting to find someone to make the mistakes to go on and create another brokenness. No, what you need to do is work on making sure when you come, you have the value offer. And the same thing with women. You don't need to learn how to cook or know how to cook and have a cookbook because you don't have children. You need to know that so you can offer and say, I've got this covered. I already know how to do this. Here's my resume. But you'll do it for a job. You go to school, post high school into college to make sure that you are prepared for a job, that you can say, I went to school and do this. So you'll qualify for everything else out there in life. But again, you meeting somebody and getting married, that's for you. That's you finding the person you love. That's your love that you're willing to lose or saying, I'm going to risk losing. That's not my love. And the other person is the same thing. You two are getting together. You're getting with that person. That's your love that you're giving away. That's their love that they're receiving. What kind of love are you giving? But again, you got people out there, man, they're never working on that because, again, they're not working on themselves. They're waiting for another day to come to get another signal, another cue to say, okay, now I can do. They're waiting on someone else to tell them or waiting for life to give them the okay signal that you can do this now, or you have to learn from this lesson. We're waiting until the debt collectors come to say, okay, now I understand what I've got to do to get my credit together. There's no preparation for today. You're not worried about that now. I went and learned and did pediatrics to learn what I needed to do to be able to take care of my children before I had children. I didn't need to know how to take care of my kids once I became a father. I had already had practice as a nurse. You want to have children one day? Then go be in an environment that you can learn how to do things with children. If you're a nurse, you can be a nanny. You can go around and volunteer. There are tons of places where you can get better skills. But why be a shitty father when you want to be one? Why not prepare for it? Why not spend time with the people who have children and volunteer yourself and say, hey, I need to learn how to do this better, what I need to do, what to prepare for. I'll do it everywhere in my life for a job, for something else, for my career, but I won't do it for my damn self because no one's making me do it right now. I'm going to wait until I get to my woman. I'm going to wait until we get into a relationship, and then I'm going to dump all of this shit on her because I don't know how to do it. But I prepare for everything else in my life, but I won't prepare for something that I actually wanted. How does that make sense? It's like a woman. You have a baby and you're like, I need to take off, but they're like, I got to go back to work. Then why have the baby then if you're not going to be home for your child? The child needs you. Your boss doesn't need you. They can replace you. That's the thing about it. You're not valuable. Look at all the damn job layoffs we have right now. But your child, you will always be one of the most important things to your child. That's what's going on right now when I see with patients. You still are the most important thing to your child, but you think the most important thing you have is your job. And it's not. Your child will look at you as a heavenly being sent to them by God because you are their parent. They will never get another one of you. You can have more children, but they will never get another mother. They will never get another father. They got one opportunity to have that, and they got it with you. Good, bad, right, or wrong. And what they're looking at is that you think your priority is to somewhere else than them. And you wanted them. They didn't want you. You wanted them. And where do you put your energy into? Someone else's plan, someone else's company. So guess what they can do? They can be off to take care of their children while you work and make money for them. Because their priority's in the right place. I say this because I'm trying to teach you all something. I'm trying to give you all something. The message. What's the message? Phil, the message I'm trying to impart to the viewers, to the listeners, people who give a shit. You want to go look at a dancing video, go do that there, but you'll never learn shit in life. When you want things in life, you have to prepare for them. Not when they get there. You got to start doing it today. You want a marriage? Start learning on what it takes to get married. Start watching videos, not just my videos. Fuck you got to watch me. Watch videos on what it takes to be in a marriage. The responsibilities, what you got to do to be in a marriage. The considerations. All this information's out, and people act like they're going to have something that no one else has experienced. It's not. We all are having similar experiences. We're all feeling inflation, just at different levels. There's much information out there for you to get an understanding of what you're going to do. Hell, I follow medicine because of the amount of people that have gone through diseases and processes and how they treated them. There's enough information out there to know, hey, we're going to start this antibiotic for this. When you go to a hospital, you get treated for antibiotics, or you go to a doctor, they're giving you medicine, saving your life because of the same thing that I'm telling you to do now. There's enough information out there, enough people who passed, enough people who lived, enough people who've been healed, enough people who haven't been healed to know this way's right, that way's not. And that's why you feel better when you get sick. That's why you take Tylenol when you have a fever, or Motrin when you have a headache, or antibiotics when you get sick, or they have surgery that they heal your bones and fix your broken leg so you don't walk out here with a damn limp the rest of your life, or worse. You got to start preparing for your life, the life that you want there. You know what I see? People who don't prepare for the life they want, they shouldn't get it. And most of the time they don't. Anyone else telling you that's just shoveling shit and calling it gravy. I don't even know if that made sense, but I'm going to go with that. Shoveling shit and calling it gravy, all right? Don't wait for tomorrow. I didn't wait for tomorrow to do this video today. I did it now. To talk to you, to inspire you, to help you. And there'll be more videos like this. But again, the message, do not wait for tomorrow to get something done that you could start today. Don't wait for your life to come 20 years down the road screaming at you. Then you can't get prepared for it because you're going to wait till you're 40. You're going to wait till you're 60 to be retired to think about retirement. You're going to wait till you get a wife to think about what you got to do to be dedicated as a husband. Or you got to do the same thing. You're going to wait till you get a husband to start being faithful to a person. What kind of dumb shit is that? But it makes sense to people who are stupid. It does. Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands. My book, Getting Dollars from Dirt, A Beginner Guide to Making Land Investing, is on Amazon. Link will be in the description below. You can go to ancestrylands.com for more properties, because again, owning real estate is about wealth building. You own land so you own property so you're not owned as property. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment below if you've been inspired by this video. Phil Davis, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.